G'day everyone. So you would have seen the last video I put up. Finally got out drifting again, and it shows on the car. There were a few minor bumps. I might have touched another car once or twice. But basically you're going to have a run over it, have a look at what actually got damaged, and then in another video I'll start fixing it all and get it back to looking like it's showroom brand new again. So as well as being kind of muddy, it copped a few little hits and bumps. Thankfully pretty much all the damage is confined to the bash bars that I made, which is what they're supposed to do. Thankfully both my wheels are good. This is the one that I welded up in that last video. It's still mint, hasn't had any problems. I did lose half my side skirt, which is kind of annoying because these side skirts are super hard to find. But wherever the pieces have gone, I do have most of the pieces, so it's all little pieces. But I will put up a video on how to remake this with the bits I've got left and get it looking new again. This guard on this side, the carbon guards I made, this one's holding up really well. It did sort of get popped inside out, and you can see it's got a bit of a crack here, but it did pop back out the right way. The main bit of damage that it got is the bash bars are pretty bent. So this used to obviously come straight out this way and the bumper sat on top of it. And I made these sort of in a bit of a rush before an event, and they're made out of chromoly roll cage tube. So what you'd normally want is this piece here to be weak, so this piece bends and you can replace it. I knew it wouldn't do that, but I needed something at the back to sort of slide along. So all it's doing is bending the crap out of the factory rail, and you can see where it's mounted on is all kinked and bent in now, but I knew that would happen, so at some point I'll bend it back, but at some point I'll have to replace them. One on the other side, a little bit bent, not quite as bad. You can tell it's from EG's car because it's got red paint all over it. And I've taken the wheel off that side, but the wheel that was on this side was covered in red paint. You can see it even managed to bend the ends of the wheel nuts, and they've got chunks of red paint in them. That's all from EG's Red 180. Other than that, this is definitely the worst one. I did lose the whole corner of my guard here. It snapped off eventually because this one was just like completely flying off by itself. I do have the corner though, so I'll reattach that. You see, I got a good scrape. I had, I think, one where I accidentally hit the wall a bit hard, and yeah, this bit, obviously chromoly roll bars indestructible, so it's just got to scrape and bent this, and then it's wearing away my GDR wing and wearing away the corner of my boot lid, but that'll be okay. This side of the car pretty much didn't cop any damage. I don't think that wheel got hit. This wheel didn't get hit, I don't think. This did hit, I think it was probably EG's car again, the corner here, so this guard's bent, it's bent this bash bar, but yeah, this bash bar, we'll open the bonnet and have a look at it. So this bash bar definitely copped more than the back one did, it seems. It's been hit at each corner and it's bent this guard. The guard's pretty twisted and stuff now. I don't know if I do have molds that one of my friends lent me to make new guards. I don't think I'll bother with that just yet. These ones are still good, but I do have the option there to make some carbon fibre ones when these are destroyed. But you can see it's taken a big hit from this direction. This used to be a straight tube, so it's got a big bend in it now. And this also used to be bolted on to here. So I probably should have used bigger surface area mount bolts, or maybe a thicker plate, but at the time this is all I had lying around. So it has absorbed the hit and it worked all day, which is fine. You can see what it's done is actually tore the bolts out from it. So when I redo this, I'll probably replace this with a thicker plate. It's snapped off at the same time when this broke off. It looks like it's broken this off, which was welded on there, and it's just the mount to hold the radiator up, but that still is on there solid, especially because this hose helps hold the radiator in place. There is half of this that's missing. Should be another piece on there that's completely broken off, so I'll have to make another one of those because I don't know what happened to that. On this side, although it hasn't snapped off, you can see it's sort of bent the crap out of it in the same way. I'm going to also add another bolt to this point here, I think, looking at how this one's bent, and then this used to sort of come out straight here to support the bumper, and now it's super bent as well. So this bash bar copped a lot of damage, but it has kept all the damage away from the actual frame. So the frame at the front seems like it's completely fine, and it's all ready to drive again, which is good. So this thing has done its job and sacrificed itself to save everything else. So I do have a few updates to make for version 2 crash bar, but that should be good as is. My front and rear bumper are missing, but they're over there. I'll have a quick look. So these bumpers are getting pretty tired. These are still the original bumpers. Like, that car still has its original bumpers, original bonnet, original door, like every single panel except the rear guard is still the original one that I had on it when I bought it like years ago. So the bumpers, they're factory plastic, not fiberglass, so they're pretty friggin' strong. They're starting to crack in a few places. You can see I've cable tied this back together before, but it's broken again. You can see it's got big rubber marks all down the side of it, but that should just be a matter. Cable tie that back together. I think it's you can see I've fixed it there before. I think it's split on this side as well in the same place, and same thing. It's covered in black marks, which probably from EG's car again. And the front one, just to prove the resistance of factory plastic bumpers, this got driven over by EG's car, like 100% under the car. So it's you can see it's all chewed up from going under the car. It's got a half decent crack in it here, and it's cracked there, but I'll be able to cable tie that all back together and it should be okay. I've still got one of my, this is on the very first Japan trip I bought these fog lights from Up Garage, and that survived getting driven over. The other one, I don't know, that went somewhere. I think it's in one of these boxes, but this is all cable tieable back together. Bumpers should be all good to go for the next one, so we'll throw the car up on the hoist, and have a look underneath it, see if there's any other damage under there we need to look at. So I've got the car up on the hoist now. You can see the same damage from underneath. There's a spot at the back here. Can you see it where my chassis rails are starting to crack? So I've welded plates in this before and this crack's getting worse. So that's gotten a lot worse from last time. But this one under here, if you can see it, this one's really getting worse. So at some point I'm going to have to cut the back off this car and tube frame it. Throughout the day the car kept getting louder. It's probably something to do with the fact that this muffler has exploded and all the muffler fluff's coming out of it. So that's probably on the list of stuff to replace. Other than that, nothing really happened under here. You can see my sump guards copped a few new smashes, and this big dent was here before, but that one's new, so at some point I'll heat this and pull the dents out of it as well. Other than that, everything underneath looks all okay. It's very muddy now, but all my tube frame looks good. The wheel looks good. So considering how much fun I had that day, all the damage all up isn't too bad. Pretty much just the bash bars and bumpers I've got to fix. I probably won't bother doing a video about fixing the actual bars themselves. It's just cutting and welding, everyone's seen that 100 times. But I probably will go over how to repair the fiberglass side skirt, because I know that's a super common thing for drift cars, to get smashed fiberglass bumpers and skirts, and you only ever find a few odd bits and pieces, and then you got to sort of make the rest of it from scratch. So I'll stick a video up from that, but this was just a quick video to show the aftermath of the day. But yeah, it was an awesome day. I would 100% do it again tomorrow if I could, and I'll see everyone on the next video.